Well, I'm going to try this again. I know that even trying to run Ontario without any streaming peripherals going on, the game was still crashing even after one lap at Ontario. So perhaps Ontario is the bad cookie in all this. Still no telling, so I'm not even all that sure that it's going to stay clean in this start here, because I have not changed anything with this computer. I don't know why the game would be crashing. So starting on the front row in this one, a way different field. As you can see, Monty Shangle and Cash first and second. Then you've got Jacob Shangle and Nathan Mann, Alan Malcolm and Matthew Fastnot, Chasey Plays and Alan Chavot, Trevor Walker and Tom Cording. Then you got Silas Huddleston and Lucas Holmes, Philip Leeds and Gaiman, Roach and Scott, King and Walkner, Luke and Hobson, Steele Jr. and Jameson Thole, Ladino and DeBlank, Harvey and Farrell, Paulus and Sestre, Shangle and Legend, Starr and Fawn, Vaden and Cower, Hagen and Kinsella, Hunt and Rodriguez, Popcris and Durham, and then Josh Drake and Newman.
Gentlemen, start your...
At least we do have another option for a super speedway here on the West Coast. This one based out of Seattle, Washington. So we still have a super speedway race here. Still a West Coast affiliated track. The pace truck is off, and we're going to get going here. 77 laps around Armory Digital Super Speedway. 200 miles in length. Hoping that we can get a full race in here today without any more crashes or disasters from the NR 2003 game. Early start here, almost 3 wide for the lead, as Nathan Mann tries to peek out on the outside. You got a Shangle Brigade on the inside pushing to the front here. Newcomer to the series, Alan Malcolm up to third, as well as seasoned veteran Chasey Plays now making a move for third. Chasey Plays making it 3 wide for second there. And Jacob Shangle in the lead, just trying to hold on for position. They're up to 180 miles an hour already, going through turns 3 and 4. And give Chasey Plays the lead here as they come around to the start-finish line this time. 4 wide for about 4th place there. It's only going to continue to stay 3 wide and 4 wide all the way through the field. I'm really hoping that the problem had line with the track that I was attempting to run. I don't think I've done very many streams with Ontario. And I know Ontario has always been a somewhat problematic track. Didn't realize it was going to be that problematic. And I guess now we're treated to more so of a super speedway than what Ontario was going to be. Matthew Fastnot with the lead here. Chasey Plays in second. Phillip leads in third. Jacob Schenkel on the high side, getting passed by Roach for fourth and fifth. Now fifth belongs to Trevor Walker. Four wide there. See how well everyone comes out of the turn with four wide action there. Fastnot back to the lead. Fastnot and Chasey Plays putting on a good show for the crowd here at Armory Digital Superspeedway. Ooh, and Trevor Walker gonna make it three wide for the lead. Roach moving up some spots here. Now you got Gaiman up in the mix here, running second. Chasey Plays doing a solid job holding the front of the field up, keeping that lead and holding traffic as they try to draft up to him. Very great action at the front of the field here, as you can see. Still about 20 trucks within the lead pack, with all of them still in a solid chance of catching up to the lead. Alan Malcolm up to third here, fighting alongside Josh Gaiman. And we're 6 laps into this one without a caution, so pretty quick pace being set down here. Everyone within 4 seconds of the lead, so it's a free-for-all right now. Jacob Schenkel, who was up towards the front in qualifying, trying to get the lead back here. But Chasey Plays is going to continue to hold it. Oh, Jacob gets up into the wall there. He's going to get shuffled all the way back, it looks like. Trevor Walker trying to take the lead here, but Adam Starr giving that 49 truck a good push, keeping the lead for Chasey Plays. Pretty dominant outing from Chasey Plays here today. Ooh, Alan Chavot getting into the mix, trying to get up into the top 10, possibly the top 5. Yet again, I apologize for all the technical difficulties we've had today. At least possibly we might have deducted the fact that the Ontario track is just a bad cookie. There's no good way to troubleshoot that no matter how much you try. It just seems like there might be something off in the coding for Ontario with everything involved. Gavin Legend turns the fastest lap, taking the fast lap away from Monty Shangle. Alan Chavot now up to 2nd. Very different field, as you can see from the botched attempt at Ontario that we had. Alan Chavot is definitely looking strong here, trying to run around the 49 truck. Got Matthew Fastnot taking it 3 wide at the lead. Ooh, and it's going to get interesting here as they're 3 wide for 2nd right now. Plays continuing to hold that lead. Nathan Mann giving Fastnot a push, getting Fastnot closer to taking that lead away. Dang near 4 wide there. Yeah, now they're 4 wide. Fastnot taking the lead here. Chavot has to kind of settle down there and keep from getting into a 4 wide accident. Made it 12, now 13 laps without a caution. Chasey Plays has kind of been dominantly leading at the front of the field here. And now we've got Kyler Sustre coming up into the mix here. This has been a very standard excitement super speedway race. As you can see, the lead's constantly changing as Chasey Plays trying to take the lead back here from Matthew Fastnot and does so in style. That 49 truck looks stout here today. Trevor Walker, obviously a great candidate when it comes to any form of racing in the USA trucks. And some unknowns at the front of the field, such as Chasey Plays leading, Joshua Gaiman, Lotus King. A lot of these drivers you never see running up front here tonight. Even driver Roach there in the 6 truck. Of the top 10, there'd be at least 5 different drivers that could potentially get their first career win here today. Kyler Sestrate going to make it, well, not quite. Didn't go 3 wide in for the lead there. Chasey Plays still holding that lead. Matthew Fastnot with a good push draft here from Lotus King. The 2 Toyotas tied up on that bottom lane. Actually make it a 3 Toyota. Three Toyota draft if you count the leader of Chasey Plays. Whoa, whoa, that was the 66 of Nathan Mann. That was a very hairy scenario there that could have gone really bad. 66 truck continues going straight, but lost some momentum there, it looks like. And Alan Chavot definitely keeping things interesting here in the 97 truck. It's impressive to see that the outside line is almost as competitive as the inside line here at Armory Digital Superspeedway. You often see most of the moves making on the inside line, but the outside line seems to prevail just as much as the inside line here. A true dual groove racetrack like this, seeing a lot of back and forth action. Roach up to 3rd here. One of the stoutest runs that 6 truck has shown. He's caught up to the back bumper of Matthew Fastnot. Gonna get low here. Try to take 2nd away from Fastnot. And impressively enough, the field still only separated by 4 seconds. So even with trucks that might be underpowered, it seems like the great equalizer here is the design of this track being a super speedway. You can forget about Chevys being underpowered or Honda not getting their first win. Everyone's got as good a shot here today to win the race as the next guy right beside them. I feel bad that our first couple races were so glitched that we're not going to have near as many people viewing this one here. And I understand completely. We tried it twice and it went miserably bad the first 2 times. And I know that I want to get a race in tonight. And I figured out when Ontario was going to crash even without streaming, if I was just going to record a race there, it was crashing like crazy. So in enters Armory Digital Super Speedway, and so far 20 laps into the event here. And I must say the racing here seems to be a lot more enticing than the racing that we were going to have. A lot better than the racing we were going to have at Ontario anyways. So a lot of neat storylines at the front of the field here, as you've got Chasey Plays, who has never shown this kind of strength in the USA trucks, having a great run here today. He has led easily the first out of the first 20 laps. He's probably led about 15 of them. So slowly working his way towards the led most laps category here today at Armory. Alan Chavot getting alongside Adam Starr here. Next target will be that 49 truck of Plays. Man, then you got Craig Popchris up to 4th here. Seems to be the misfit toys running at the front of the field here. A lot of drivers that have not had top 5 finishes, let alone a win. Looking really good at getting a potential top 5 finish here today. Chasey Plays, defends, and keeps that lead. Craig Popchris up to 2nd. Kyler Sustre up to 3rd. And Sustre trying to take the lead away here as the draft is kind of caught back up to the leader. Chavot seems to have got a little bit shaken there as he's fallen way back in the pack. Was running about 3rd and is now slotted all the way back to about 15th. Krista Coward trying to fight for the lead here. Chasey Plays holding that lead still, but not for long as the 98 truck is going to come storming to the lead. Whoa, Alan Malcolm with a huge run there in that 9 truck, just a couple trucks back. About to go 3 wide for the lead, but now it's going to turn for 3 wide into 4th. It's impressive when they make that run into the turns how much more momentum that outside carries than the inside. The inside line has to slow up a lot sooner to keep from pushing that truck all the way up a lane. The outside lane can kind of just keep their foot in the throttle, holding it on the outside a little bit harder. And then you see moves like that from Adam Starr where he tries to zook and juke his way around, but it definitely did not pay off as he lost a lot of momentum with that crazy move that he made in the middle of the turn. We'll be down to 50 laps to go this next time by. And there's a little bit more separation at the front of the field than what we've seen all day here. The field is actually separated by about 4.5 seconds now. So the leaders are kind of starting to stretch it out. Newcomer into the top 3 is you got Josh Gaiman fighting for 2nd. Gaiman side by side with Krista Cower. So, in case most of you didn't catch what happened already today, Ontario was a bust. This has been the replacement for Ontario, and I think we're probably gonna try to eliminate Ontario until I can figure out that there's maybe a new modded Ontario, a more current reconception of the already defunct racetrack. And we're getting treated to some excellent racing here at Armory, based out of Seattle, Washington. Obviously, it does not really exist, but it's a great track made by content creator Mystic, who has also made the ICR series, or the ICR mod, which is what I use for the Sylvania Cup series. This track also kind of goes hand in hand with the Pacific Northwest concept of everything I try to keep alive, so obviously we're gonna keep, you know, going to tracks that are more close to home for me, which is always nice. Wow, they're getting crazy there in the mid-pack. Man, Chasey Plays has been a hard one to beat here today. Plays has almost led probably close to 25 laps now at the front of the field. That means anyone else is going to have to go out there and lead 25 laps to match him for led most laps here today. The field is all back within 4 seconds of each other. Green flag pit stops is surely going to throw a wrench in how the field is organized so far. If only they could make it down pit road without scrambling up the whole field draft that we got going on here. Krista Coward takes the lead away from Chasey Plays on lap 31. And Chasey on the outside with very little drafting help is struggling for the first time here tonight. He's been up front and has led at least 25 laps in the first 30. But gonna take a step back here, evaluate the situation at hand and try to fight back to the front. Gaiman takes the lead away from Cower, so now we're gonna have a revolving door of leaders here as the fastest truck of Chasey Plays gets shuffled out. 3 wide, Kyler Sustre in the middle, but Lotus King on that lower lane of the track. Tom Cording sneaking his way into the picture here for the first time tonight. As now you could throw a whole blanket over the top 10. The top 10 is packed in there tight. Chasey Plays. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. They tried to wreck again there, but still keeping it clean. No wreck, no caution, although it looked scary from potentially the 6-truck sidecar cam. If you're watching the 6-truck here in that mid-turn. The 66 of Nathan Mann. Wow. That's quite the save from the 66 truck not to make contact. Impressive. Lotus King leading some of the first laps they've ever led here in the USA Trucks. Joshua Gaiman on the inside taking the lead. Then you've got a couple race winners from the season with Krista Cower and Trevor Walker there in the top 5. Chasey Plays is not letting them get too far away as he's trying to figure out the procedure to get back to the front here. Three wide, 4 wide. Chasey Plays dicing down to the bottom here. He's going to try his hardest to pick up a couple more spots here. Taking that low line. Josh Gaiman leads for now. Not for long. Lotus King back to the lead. Kyler Sustre taking the lead here from Krista Cower, side by side. Man, that's impressive. That outside line just gets a run and takes the lead back. Definitely the preferred spot to be is up there in the lead because it doesn't seem like anyone can do much wrong to lose enough momentum to lose the lead. So even like right now, they're side by side with Krista Cower, but they're so aggressive at slowing up here that I still think Krista Cower might drive around them on the outside here. Oh, we got pit stops, so that's going to make a difference as well. This is right at halfway as we've got 38 complete, 39 left to go. So with pit stops, we'll see how well the field stays bunched up, as we could have kept everyone within 5 seconds of the leader. Oh, it looks like DeBlanc may have run out of gas, perhaps? He stays out 1 lap too long here, as he runs out of gas, misses the pit lane. Oh, there was some damage sustained when drivers were coming down pit roads, so that truck not happy after the damage he took from the truck cutting down to pit road. That's a shame for DeBlanc in the 85. These are some of our faster trucks that were at the front leading, coming off pit road now. Let's stay with them to see how they shuffle out with the rest of the leaders. Looks like they're going to rejoin the track right about with Kyler Sustre. And actually, Chavot might come back out with the lead here. Might have to keep an eye peeled for anyone else that's still staying out. But Chavot with a masterful job done on pit road, coming out with the potential lead here on the end of green flag pit stops. Allen, along with a few other of the drivers that had pitted that last round, are definitely good to go to the finish. They should not have any worries about running out of gas. And there you have it. Yep, the lead now belongs to Alan Chavot. But the lead traffic's going to now catch up to him like a steam train. But in a good situation here, as he's going to be amongst the top 10 of the lead pack. Looks like our lead pack has shrunk a little bit, as it's now Alan Malcolm, Philip Leeds, Kyler Sustre, Krista Cower, Lotus King, Alan Chavot, Josh Gaiman, Craig Popgris, and Trevor Walker. Our fastest driver on track is actually that of Philip Leeds in the 27 truck. The guy that led the most laps through the first half of this race, Chasey Plays, looks like he's dropped back a bit with these green flag pit stops, throwing him a bit of a curveball. He's in the third pack in 28th place, so got his work cut out for him here in the second half of the race. There's still a lot that could happen. We could potentially get a caution that brings the whole field back together. I would not count him out at that point, that he could possibly still get back into the mix here. But Alan Chavot now up to second, fighting with Krista Cower. Still a lot of first-timers at the front of the field here who could potentially get their first win here tonight. The 97, the 23, the 24, the 61, the 9, and the 46 are all candidates to get their first win here. Still have not seen any cautions through the first 43 laps run here. Everyone's been playing pretty good, keeping out of trouble. Now they've caught up to lap traffic, the 85 of Brian DeBlanc. Unfortunately, with that, I will go ahead and then I'm going to waive the caution too, so that we give everyone a fair shake after that. So rolling into the caution here as they race back to the caution flag. It's going to be Alan Malcolm who secures the lead here, catching up to the start-finish line, and we are under caution. Alan Chavot kind of got held up there by the slower traffic of the 85. Unfortunately, the damage on the 85 is going to be bad enough that we had to send him packing here today. Did not meet race pace with the slow pace of the 85 truck, unfortunately. With that said, we still have 40 trucks on the lead lap, as it looks like we had another failure there. The 12 of Chris Harvey had a gearbox failure right about the gearbox failure, and he just falls way off the pace there. So some might be able to argue that that's the reason why we threw the caution. See, he must have got his damage involved with the 85. Yeah, exactly. That's what happened. So the two that got involved during those pit stops, the 12 truck and the 85. The 12 tries to come down pit road, I imagine. And the 85 at full pace. So those two accidents completely connected. The 12 and the 85 out with damage on their trucks. So Alan Malcolm, relatively unknown at the front of the field here, leading over Krista Cower, Lotus King, Trevor Walker, Joshua Gaiman, Alan Chavot, Philip Leeds, Cash, Craig Popgris, and John Hagan has snuck his way up into the top 10. Then you've got Bella Fawn, Kyler Sestre, Lucas Holmes, Adam Starr, Matthew Fastnot, Nate Newman, Braden Hunt, Dave Steele Jr., Noah Hobson, and Kat Durham. 21st is Josh Drake, Monty Shangle, Tyler Shangle, Tom Cording, Trevor Vaden, Lynn Farrell, Paul Ladino, Luke, Chasey Plays, Dalton Scott, Nathan Mann, Jameson Thole, Roach, Legend, Rodriguez, Walkner, Paulus, Kinsella, Huddleston, and Jacob Shangle at the very back of the field. So in case anyone is just now tuning in, we had our first caution for gearbox failure on the number 12 of Chris Harvey, due in part to that damage Chris Harvey sustained. The 85 of Brian DeBlanc was not meeting race pace and had been disqualified because he was only running at about 120 miles an hour out there. And on these super speedways, that is truly a danger to the rest of the field. Should be getting back to green here this time as the pace truck catches up to the start-finish line front of the field, as you see. Green flag pit stops kind of shook up the racing order. We had Chasey Plays dominant at the first half of the race. The second half is going to be a different story, most likely. Well, we got another lap under caution here, so we still got a little bit of time to recap what's been going on. Lead has changed hands a lot as we've seen some crazy good racing, pack racing at the front of the field. Although Chasey Plays led easily 25 of the first 30 laps of the race, it wasn't without competition from the rest of the field who kept getting up alongside of him. That's right. I didn't really pay close enough attention, but Chavot actually did get a little bit of damage there, possibly with the 85. I think he woes up enough. It doesn't look as bad as it could have been. Luckily, no one ran into Chavot from behind, and luckily he had evasive enough safety maneuver there that he didn't really make much contact with the 85 at all. So crazy good job on Chavot to catch that without making severe contact with the 85 truck. We're going to see him get double filed up for the restart here next lap by, as the truck still has the pace lights on. We'll be down to about 28 laps to go once the race resumes. Pace truck lights should turn off this time. And we've got a lot of exciting potential first-time winners here tonight. This West Coast division has not failed to exceed the excitement levels that we see week in, week out. There's always a new exciting conclusion on the horizon here with the West Coast. Might as well consider it to be the Wild West because of that. We've seen so many wild and crazy finishes to the races here in the USA Trucks West Division. Now coming around the back side of the track, this 2.6 mile Superspeedway, kind of deceiving. You wouldn't think it's that long, but under caution here, it takes quite a while to get around the 2.6 mile Superspeedway. Currently running at 70 miles an hour under pace truck speed. Once they get up to speed, they're 180 miles an hour. It seems like the track is really small in comparison to what we've got here under caution. Okay, and this could potentially be the one and only final restart to the race here with 29 laps to go. Everyone's got all the fuel in the tanks, fresh rubbers on the truck, and everyone's got a chance to move back to the front of the field as it's going to be all bunched back up here. Will Chasey Plays work his way back up to the front, or perhaps Alan Chavot continue to impress with the run that he's got going today? Or could it be someone that's already won a race this season, such as Trevor Walker there in the second row? Krista Cower, who's already up at the front. Keep your eye on Alan Malcolm there in the 9 truck. He could be a huge surprise for Trevor Ventures. He's definitely got the speed of the truck because he's teammate of Trevor Walker. And we know Walker rolls out winning trucks from that garage. Three wide for second here as Joshua Gaiman goes down low. Chavot finding his way back to the bottom line here. Gonna cut right in front of Craig Popgris, and he's gonna get up alongside Lotus King here to try and take third away. Josh Gaiman in second. We still have not seen the big one here today. There's always a huge potential for a big wreck at any super speedway that you go to. I think the key here, though, is that we will be able to make it without a big one. We could have potentially one of the most exciting super speedway finishes that the USA Trucks has to offer, since you have 40 trucks all with a shot here to win it today. Obviously, track position is huge and key to that victory. And a lot of those folks towards the back might not have the same opportunities to get to victory lane as someone who's running up front here, like Alan Chavot, Krista Cower, Craig Popgris, for example. But if you have the speed in your truck, you could still find your way through the field, like Chasey Plays, who has shown that he's got a fast truck here today. Chasey Plays has come from 28th on the restart all the way up to 21st so far. So keep your eyes peeled on that 49 truck. Wow, even the 64 of Jacob Shangle, who restarted in 40th, he has found his way up into the top 20. So exactly like I was saying, 40 trucks with a shot at winning it here. It doesn't get any more exciting than that. Krista Cower alongside Alan Malcolm here. Malcolm could potentially be the second half Chasey Plays here tonight, keeping that lead and strategically finding the right lines to work his way back to it. Got to give Jacob Shangle some credit in that number 64 Jones Soda truck, as he's making it look interesting driving through the field. Chasey Plays not too far behind that 64 truck, trying to get back in the mix here. 22 trucks all within the lead draft. All it's going to take is a little bit of luck and some good strategy to get your way back up to the front. There you go, you got some trucks shuffling to the back here as the trucks on the inside line are prevailing. Krista Cower and Alan Malcolm still duking it out for the lead here. Alan Malcolm takes a nose on her there. And Dave Steele Jr. now on the inside line making some moves to get up into the top 10 here. 22 truck showing some muscle here late in the run, as we've got 24 laps to go. Anyone's game. It is absolutely anyone's shot at getting the win here today, as we've seen moves from 40th up to 15th. We've seen some moves that put someone from the lead all the way back to 20th. Lotus King taking the lead here now. Alan Malcolm kind of on the rebound, possibly trying to drop back and make another run at the lead. Alan Chavot goes low. He's going to make up a spot here and get back into the top 5. Krista Cower gets alongside Lotus King for the lead. And Lucas Holmes kind of out of nowhere now fighting for the lead. 36 M&M's entry. Krista Cower leads the way right now. But Lucas Holmes not going to let her keep that lead very easily. teammates there with the 27 and the 98, Philip Leeds and Krista Cower, the Subaru entries on the series. And now Trackhouse B, Dave Steele Jr., all the way up into the top 10, about to be a top 5 contender right now. And don't count Dave Steele Jr. out, as he's making some big moves through the field here. Chasey Plays back up in the top 15. Matthew Fastnot working his way towards the front at the end of this one. John Hagen within the picture as well. Imagine if this race was a championship decider tonight, we would have a lot to talk about. But instead, it's going to be a deciding point for someone to make it into the Dubby Chase later this year. And just about everyone in the top 10 needs a win. Not necessarily needs a win, but could really use a win to lock themselves into the Dubby Chase. Dave Steele Jr. had a rough start to the season, switched over to Chevy, and it seems like night and day difference for that team. He's been putting together some great finishes and right on the cusp of getting a win for the team in only about 3 starts under the Trackhouse B team swap. Then you've got Matthew Fastnot, who's just fresh off of his last win last week at Pikes Peak. Potentially in the ballpark to get another win here tonight, and it would help him sincerely continue to grow his bonus points for the playoffs if he get another win here. 19 laps to go. And it's all going to pay off here in 19 laps time to see who could potentially come out victorious in this one. There's Chasey Plays as he's worked his way from about 30th up to 15th. Now that he's caught up to the lead draft, it's going to be a matter of time before he starts making passes to get through the front of the field here. Kind of gets woed up here for whatever reason. The 49 losing some pace. Must have been a reactive response when he saw that other truck get high and up towards the wall. So Chasey Plays takes a step back here, and he's going to recoup and recover. Joshua Gaiman now up to second. Gaiman going to take the lead here from Alan Malcolm, as we're going to be down to 16 laps to go here. Lotus King leading the way. And Jacob Shangle up to second. Kyler Sustre in third. Joshua Gaiman slots back to fourth here. Trevor Walker on the inside, working his way into fifth. It's a good draft from Krista Cower. Josh Gaiman losing some momentum here. Dave Steele Jr. stuck up in the high lane. This is going to be unfortunate for him as it looks like he's going to get kind of held up here in traffic. And now you got a 4-truck fight, 4-truck breakaway. Josh Gaiman starting to recover and start building that momentum back up. But in the meantime, it's Lotus King defending the position over Jacob Shangle, Matthew Fastnot, Kyler Sustre. And here we go, Josh Gaiman back into the picture again. Gaiman struggling again. It seems like one of the spots on the track there just giving him a hard time as he's not getting tractioned up or something. That truck giving him some fits through the middle of the turn. So instead of Gaiman fighting for 5th, it's Alan Malcolm and John Hagan fighting for that 5th position. Kyler Sustre sneaking his way down to the bottom here. Alan Malcolm working his way back up to the front here. Dave Steele Jr. up to 3rd. Krista Cower trying to work her way back up into the top 5. Best we've seen from Tom Cording here tonight into the top 15, almost top 10. And now Trackhouse B, Dave Steele Jr. fighting for the lead with Alan Malcolm. 3 wide with Lotus King on the high side. It's 3 by 3 by 3 as far as you can see. About to be 4 wide with Tom Cording there. Tom Cording still trying to make a charge here on the inside. Lotus King stretches it out on the high side, getting that lead back. Dave Steele Jr. having to recover here. Josh Gaiman running the back bumper of the 22 truck. We've seen the 9 truck take victory at a Superspeedway before. Back in 2022, we saw the 9 with Tim Hansen win the Indianapolis Banked Indy Oval, which was kind of a bizarre race because it was a banked Indy. But it was a good race nonetheless that saw this 9 truck the last time it was in victory lane, and it was on a Superspeedway. Still running strong here at the front tonight. Look back a little bit further. Alan Chavot still in the mix. Kyler Sustre, John Hagan, Tom Cording, all of them still very much alive for the win here. With only 9 laps to go now, it's really getting down to crunch time for these guys as they got to figure out the right place to be to try and make it to the front of the field. Lotus King has been hard to beat here in the late end of this run. Tom Cording, I think, has kind of worked his way into a good position here to try and get that lead, possibly the win. Dave Steele Jr. goes really low here. It's going to be 3 wide for second place. Joshua Gaiman gets a little bit loose there, gets run way up high. Matthew Fastnot dipping down low here, could potentially take the lead away. With relative ease, Matthew Fastnot slots his way up into first. Wow, and all of a sudden, Bella Fawn enters the picture in the 32 truck, trying to close the gap to the front of the field here. The 32 of Bella Fawn looking good in the closing laps. Alan Malcolm goes down low, gets 3 wide for second here. Dave Steele Jr. following with him to give a good draft here. The 9 truck needs all the drafting help he can get to try and work his way back to the front. Alan Malcolm side by side with Fastnot. Now Dave Steele side by side with Fastnot. Roach going 3 wide for second. Dave Steele's going to have to settle in here and hope for some more drafting help behind to keep that momentum going. We've really seen quite the shakeup at the front of the field here as the lead and top 10 have changed drastically within just the last couple laps. 5 laps to go this time by. Who's made all the right moves? Who's settled into the catbird seat here, as some might say? Who's a sitting duck? Krista Cower way down low there. Tom Cording way up high here. Kyler Susray gets down low. Ooh, and there's going to be some lap traffic that we need to fix. I don't know if I called it soon enough, as these guys are going 178. These guys are going 187. They need to pull off the track as soon as possible here. I disqualified both of them, and maybe I was too late to do so, as they are now coming out of turn 2. These guys are just now coming out of turn 2. They should settle down onto the low lane here and pull off the track at the end of turn 4. In the meantime, 4 laps to go here at Armory Digital Superspeedway. Alan Malcolm to the lead over Matthew Fastnot. There we go. Like a charm. There was not a moment's trouble for the lead pack, as Fastnot now gets back low. Alan Malcolm leading that lap. Dave Steele Jr. Ooh, Dave Steele Jr. going to take that lane away from Trevor Walker. We're down to 3 laps to go now. Matthew Fastnot, fresh off of his win last week at Pikes Peak, holding the lead for now over Dave Steele Jr., Trevor Walker, John Hagan, and Kyler Sustre. Nine of Alan Malcolm definitely got shuffled out hard there at the end, that last lap. Fastnot could potentially go back to back here if he's able to hold off the rest of the field behind him. 2 laps to go this time by, lap 76 of 77. Sustre with a charge, getting right up alongside Dave Steele Jr. You can tell that these trucks are starting to get wore out as the tires have wore down. Trucks maybe not handling to everyone's liking right now. Fastnot's just kind of luckily holding that lead. Ooh, and Dave Steele Jr. getting shuffled up high here. Tom Cording goes down low. Now the momentum of the draft is really going to kick in here as the 24 of Sustre and the 9 of Alan Malcolm are going to try to get by the 09 of Fastnot. Final lap, white flag waving in the air. Fastnot masterfully holding off the rest of the field behind him at the moment. Oh, and they almost wrecked there behind them. Alan Malcolm with a shot here. The draft is kind of dissipated behind him. So it's going to be whoever's got enough of a draft to catch up to Fastnot at this point. The 90 of Tom Cording in second. We might potentially see our first repeat winner on the West Coast here, especially since you've got 2 winners already in first and second between Fastnot and Tom Cording. Fastnot's going to have another win to add to his career here in the USA Trucks, going back to back with Pikes Peak last week and at Armory Digital Speedway here tonight. The rest of the field, from Fastnot, it was Cording in second, the 9 of Alan Malcolm in third, Kyler Sustre in fourth, Lynn Farrell in fifth, Krista Cower in sixth. Then you had Dave Steele Jr. with a solid 7th, John Hagan with an 8th, Bella Fawn with a 9th, and Lotus King with a 10th. 11th, we had the 15 truck of Noah Hobson, then Trevor Walker in 12th, Joshua Gaiman 13th, Alan Chavot 14th, and Roach with a 15th. Matthew Fastnot coming around to celebrate a pace lap after the victory. And we had some excellent racing here at Armory Digital Superspeedway. Looks like we might have had a wreck at the conclusion of this one. 38 of Monty Shangle came in 33rd here at the end. Oh, everyone just piled up on the end of the race there. Nothing too weird. But congratulations to Matthew Fastnot winning back-to-back here in the USA Trucks West Division. Tonight's race just a little over an hour in distance, 1 hour and 15 minutes lengthwise. West Coast is now finished 7 of the 11 races here. So we only have 4 more races before the W Chase kicks into full gear. So West race 7 of 11. Thank goodness the game didn't crash. Seems that the problem lies with the track and not the game, which is a great deal because I was afraid that something happened after my computer updated that affected NR 2003. So that's not the case. Matthew Fastnot with 2 wins now is the first driver to go back-to-back this season. First driver to win multiple on the West Coast. We did have a back-to-back winner in Tim Cording on the East Coast, but now the first time we've seen it here on the West Coast. Mostly kind of the unexpected winner here tonight as we saw dominance from Chasey Plays, Alan Malcolm, and some strong performances from the likes of Dave Steele Jr.
Did you have that same
and Tom Cording still in the picture every week like he seems to be. So sweet. That's a wrap. It took us another couple hours to get there, but finally we found out the solution and we were able to get racing here tonight. That gets us mostly all caught up on the truck series for this time of the week. At least now the next race should go as scheduled. So thanks again for everyone tuning in. Glad we had an excellent race there. Armory Digital Superspeedway is going to be a track that we'll see more of coming in the future. So hopefully y'all have a good night. You might want to tune in to the HTL Cup race later this evening to watch some of your familiar faces that are on the Nasser world. Some folks in the iRacing division. Hopefully JSR has a good finish tonight. I know John Hagan will be racing for my team and Jonathan Adams as well. So hopefully you guys have a good night and see you on the next one. This is Jakester signing out.